Ladies and gentlemen, you know your words are powerful, right? Know your words are powerful. What you say out loud to other people, your communication to other people, your communication to yourself, words are powerful. So that means we have to get better with our language. We have to get better with our communication if we want to design our ideal life. These are the small things again that we have to pay attention to move the needle. There's a fine line, a thin line, ladies and gentlemen, between good and great, right? Being average and being extraordinary. It's little things like this. How much are we paying attention to our words? Jim Rohn said some really powerful stuff in there, right? Words help us, our vocabulary helps us see better, helps us express better. So if we need a little bit more clearer vision on things, maybe we need to get our vocabulary better. Maybe we need to learn some new words. Maybe we need to have some new conversations. If we want to express better, if we feel like there's a bunch inside of us and we're not able to express, we're not able to communicate what we're feeling, what we're thinking, if we can't get that out, well, maybe we need to work on our vocabulary. Maybe we need to work on our words. Starting, I guess, maybe 10 days ago, 12 days ago-ish, I don't know. I started journaling. I have a challenge where I'm supposed to journal every day for the last 100 days of the year. So that was like 12 days ago, was like 100 days or something like that. But the practice of journaling is just expression. It's just going from what's up here and putting it on paper. And many people struggle with that. Many people struggle with expression, possibly because we have communication issue. We're challenged in our words. So that's what we have to work on. All of these are things you guys know that we just have to work on. We just have to be aware of first, and then we have to start to actually execute on a plan to say, okay, how can I get better in this area? How can I progress? If we're not aware of it, we won't move the needle, right? We won't move forward. This is the same thing we talk about in your money. If you're not aware of where your money is going, if you're not aware of where you spent money last month or what your habits are with spending money, likely you won't budget moving forward. You won't be able to affect your money moving forward because you don't know where it's been, right? Like what has been happening with it. So the first key to any improvement is awareness. So maybe we just need to be a little bit more aware of our words, of our conversation ability. Jim Rohn in that video said, hey, well-chosen words. We want to pick well-chosen words. And he said, we have to have something good to say. We have to say it well. We have to have something good to say, and we have to say it well. This is important. First and foremost, like, do you have something good to say? If so, we got to learn how to say it well. And we all have something good to say. We all have something in our heart, in our spirit, that we want to be able to communicate to the world, be able to communicate to our family, be able to communicate to our spouse, to our children. We all have something good to say. Now we just have to learn how to say it well. He gave 4 points. He said, saying it well with sincerity, with repetition, with brevity, and then with good vocabulary. That's what he said in there. Saying it well is first sincerity. So how sincere are you when you have something good to say? How sincere are you at delivering that message? How sincere are you when you're having that conversation with another person? What the repetition, saying things over and over again, getting good with your words. Some of you that are in business with us know we talk about this all the time in business, is we're nothing but a business of words, right? So we have to get good with the words. We have to get good with the words so that we can get better. That's it. But are we repeating? Are we practicing these words? Brevity. You don't have to have a lot of words to make a large impact. There's some things that can just be said in short, concise things. This goes to parenting, right? Again, got a 6-year-old. So there's some things that we're learning. We don't need to have long conversations. There can be brevity in our directions. There's brevity in what we say. All right, it's time to clean up. That's brevity. But that communicated that it's time to clean up, right? So again, we can do those same exact things as adults. And then again, practicing that vocabulary. In our text, 177 Mental Toughness Secrets of the World Class, y'all, here's what it says. It says, the great ones know the power of conversation. The great ones know the power of conversation. It says here, one of the primary differences between the masses and the world-class performers is how much attention they pay to developing their conversational skills. Champions master the art of interpersonal communication. They know their success is directly proportional to the number of advocates they can have in their professional network of contacts. The great ones treat their databases like sacred artifacts because they know those lists of people are priceless. They build their network one by one and stay in constant but unobtrusive contact with the fervor of presidential candidate rallying support. Champions know that if they lost everything they own, they could pick up a phone, contact their network, and be back in business in nothing flat. The great ones are in awe of the massive power of their network. Networks usually begin and develop through a series of conversations. Say that again. Networks usually begin and develop through a series of conversations. World-class performers are charismatic conversationalists. They achieve this by focusing their conversation on other people, getting them to talk about their lives. Professional performers are usually the people asking the questions and paying rapt attention to the answers. Champions focus their part of the conversation on ideas, concepts, and things of a positive nature. They refuse to discuss other people in a way that discredits them or adversely affects their reputation. Conversation is the key, ladies and gentlemen. You want to build in a better network. You want to get around better people. You want to make better money. You need to have better conversations. You need to put yourself in a room where they're having better conversations. And that means you have to get better at holding conversations. You have to get better at asking questions. You have to get better at speaking positively, of watching what you're saying. Looking, once you have something good to say, are you saying it well? That's it. If you have something good to say, are you saying it well? And this is a practice. This is something that you practice over time. You have to get in new rooms to have new conversations. But again, you build this one by one. If you want to get to that next level in life, you got to get around some better people. You got to have some better conversations. Well, you got to have these conversations one-on-one with people. That's how you build your network. One-on-one. Do you know how to hold a good conversation? Do you know how to meet a stranger and hold a good conversation where that relationship can continue? Do you continue conversations? If you do meet people, if you do spark up a conversation with someone, if you do have that quick meeting or that quick interest, do you know how to keep a conversation going? Do you know how to keep a relationship going? There's power in this, ladies and gentlemen. There's power in us learning how to communicate better. There's power in us learning to have better conversations. Again, the first sentence of this text, one of the primary differences between the masses and the world class is how much attention they pay to developing their conversations, their conversational skills. So how much attention are you paying to developing your conversational skills? Do you communicate with your children the same way now that you did 2 years ago? Have you developed better conversation and communication ability towards them? How about to your spouse? How about to the people that you manage? How about to your other business partners? Like, how has your conversation improved? So some of those things that Jim Rohn said, saying it well means having some sincerity. So how sincere are you in your conversations? Or can you just not wait to get to your point or to leave the conversation? Because I know that's some people, right? Some people hate small talk. They hate having, right, the roundabout talk. They got to get directly to it. So if that's the case, if that's how you're operating a conversation, how sincere are you being? Sincerity would be like, oh, just let me get straight to it, right? But how sincere are you being if you have to have small talk? Do you really care about what you're asking? Do you really care about what they're saying? That's sincerity around the conversation part. Again, we talked about repetition. Brevity, I believe, is a big thing. People don't like long talkers, people that talk over and over and over and over again and say the same thing over and over and over and just ramble, right? Can you have brevity in your conversation? Can you saying it well is saying it with brevity? 25 seconds, made my point, done, ask a question, pass it back on to the other person. It's conversation etiquette. Have you ever been in a conversation with someone and they never take a pause? Like you're trying to jump in, but they like never pause what they're saying. They keep going, like every sentence runs into the next sentence. It's funny because these are things we're teaching our daughter, right? She's 6, so she's trying to pick up these cues. And so if she tries to interrupt, we're having a conversation and she's like, excuse me, like she gets the excuse me part, but she doesn't get like, no, you say excuse me like when someone has a break, right? When there's a break in it, you can't just jump in unless it's very, very serious. And so now she's always listening for when someone has a break, like when they're pausing. And every once in a while, we'll be talking to someone and they're not pausing. And she's like, they're not pausing. They're not pausing, right? So like she doesn't know when to jump in. But again, this is why we teach, right? Learning how to communicate, how to have a good conversation, what it means to be brief about what you're saying. And then, yes, improving that vocabulary, improving the words. I love that word of the day idea, right? That's an amazing idea. I might do that with my daughter, right? Word of the day is this. Let's memorize it. Because why? We got to get our vocabulary up. The different levels that you get to, ladies and gentlemen, the higher up you climb, wherever you're headed, there's going to be different conversations. There's going to be a different vocabulary that is being spoken in those rooms. So you have to get good with it. Don't be intimidated by it. Learn it. Take the words back. If there's words you don't know, learn them, look them up in the dictionary, Google them, whatever you got to do, so that next time you're more equipped for that conversation. It's important, y'all. This is important stuff. The action step for today says, hey, commit to becoming a student of interpersonal communication. This single skill will do more to help you move toward world-class results than any other. Commit to being a student of interpersonal communication. Practice your words. Practice having good conversations. You can practice it. There's people around you all day long. You can practice what it's like to have a good conversation. The resource on this book is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Very, very popular book. How to Win Friends and Influence People. Says it's arguably the greatest book ever written on interpersonal communication skills. So if you have not read How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, I highly recommend that you do, because this stuff is important. Your conversation, your words, getting better. If you have something good to say, make sure you are saying it well. That's the key. That's what I want you to work on this weekend. It's Friday. I want you to be able to go out there and actually apply some of this stuff that we're talking about. Apply this learning around your communication. Practice having better communication. Practice your words. Practice your vocabulary. Practice saying things with brevity. Practice all this stuff. It's important. It's important. This is what's going to help you design your ideal life, ladies and gentlemen, and that's what we're here doing. All right. Practice your words, and it'll help you change the way that you're thinking about things, the way that you see the world, the way that you see other people, and good stuff is going to happen. Do something this weekend that scares you guys. I love y'all. I want you to win. You deserve to win. Your families deserve to win. It's important. It's important that you practice this stuff, because people are depending on you to go off and do this stuff. All right. It's too crowded down here at the bottom, y'all. Time to get to the top of this thing. Love you guys. Enjoy your Friday. Enjoy your weekend. We'll be back on Monday with another one. Continue to invite, continue to share this with people. Again, people need to hear this. They need to start their day off the right way. They need these seeds planted. You can never underestimate the power of a seed planted. You never know what someone's going to hear that's going to allow them to grow and make better decisions for them designing their ideal life. So do what you can, share this with somebody, and we'll see you back here next week.